Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane car, and aluminum, all of it, aluminum. Even the engine, which is a supercharged V6, is aluminum. This is the 2014 Range Rover Sport, and it's pretty much all new, and it's all badass, and it's also over $71,000. Is it worth it? Find out next. I'll tell you one thing, this baby's got it where it counts, especially under the hood. And it's one of the things that I've always loved Rover products, Land Rovers, Range Rovers, because they usually have fantastic power and they're amazing off-road. This is no different. It sounds better on the road. It still has a nice little rasp to it when you really hit it. So check this out, 19 miles per gallon combined. That's pretty good. It's 17 city, 23 highway. If it was a little bit better, that'd be awesome because that means more range. But considering the fact that this thing is so powerful, so fast, and so off-road capable, that's not bad. This is a supercharged, yes, supercharged V6 that puts out 340 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. It's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, feeding all 4 wheels. Man, they build a good truck. Yeah, I know, technically speaking, this would be considered a crossover, right? Because it's unibody, there's no frame underneath, 4-wheel independent suspension, but it really is a truck as far as I'm concerned. Although, you know, it even handles on the road as good as many cars, even better than some cars. I just know, I know this thing is absolutely fantastic off-road, despite the fact it has regular street tires. I've already been gushing all over this vehicle. I've been talking about all of its just fantastic abilities. So it's like it's a superhero, which in my mind it is. It's kind of like a superhero amongst vehicles that are normally very boring. Yes, I love it, but I am willing to concede a few things, one of which is that headroom for a big off-road vehicle, not very good. When I get in and out of it, if my seat's at my desired level and I'm a little over 6'1", I kind of have to duck my head to get in. So that kind of sucks. And then, of course, there's the whole thing about overall passenger space. It's okay. I have a really hard time believing that there's an optional third row seat that can actually fit back here, but there is one. In this case, there isn't one because this is, thank God, the one that is just for cargo. And well, as you can see in terms of utility space, there's a decent amount of room, but it's also very narrow. And the liftover height, well, it's pretty high, especially when you're in full-blown 4-wheel drive garb. But the good news is that there is a storage area underneath right here, which has mostly tires, but there's a little bit of room for other stuff. And on top of that, there's also tie downs, and the seats obviously fold flat. So it does have some pretty good utility room. However, if you really want more space, then you're going to have to work your way up to the big Range Rover. It's never really been needed, but updating and making the interior more sophisticated on any of their products is something that Rover always seems to get right. And frankly, they've just knocked it out of the park with this one. It's tasteful, yet it's just not overwrought. I am so sick and tired of people putting too much chrome and too much wood on places that frankly aren't needed, aren't necessary. And in this particular case, it is necessary because there's just little tiny bits here and there. The overall two-toned dash, fantastic. The size of the screen, great. The location of most of the controls, right on. And the bottom line is that it's an extremely comfortable place to be. But with that said, there are still electronic glitches, specifically in the navigation entertainment system. It's slow, it's kind of dim-witted, and frankly, considering how much you're paying for this vehicle, it would be nice to have a better system. I like the fact that the supercharger spools up in such a gradual way, so you're not putting your pedal part of the way down and getting too much power, right? It's like just gently spools up, and it kind of reminds me of the way a diesel would be, except for rather than getting the torque super low, it feels like you got to go a little bit higher to really get that perfect torque. But once again, it's very easy to drive off-road. I bet you're wondering about the competition for the Range Rover Sport. And there isn't a lot, because it sort of sits in its own unique place. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, I personally feel, could compete with it if you're talking about the very top of the line model, but this is much more plush and a little bit more luxurious. Then on the other side, there's the Lexus GX, which off-road should be able to keep up with it, and it's very luxurious, but on-road, this thing will tear it up. For well over $71,000. This is a hell of a vehicle, and I think it's worth every damn penny. I'm not a big fan of the tires. They're not bad. They do great on the street, and I've had this same Michelin radial on snow, and it worked fine. But off-road, it's probably the weakest link of this vehicle. And those are 20s, dude. Big wheels. But they look good, you know, and I'm fresh pimping. I get sprung when I look at the back end of this because it's got back. It's a sexist. It's a sexist, sexy vehicle. I got it to slip a little tiny bit. That's about as good as it's going to get. And once again, that's really the tires. Everything else is just working fine for that. Check this out, guys. Down it goes. That's balance for you. And you know what? It's mostly due to the aluminum. Over 700 pounds out of the vehicle, and you can feel it on-road, you can feel it off-road. On the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, yeah, buy it, please. I mean, it's a great vehicle. Yes, I love it. I can't think of too many negatives. I tried, and I really can't come up with many. Yes, it's over $73,000 as tested, but look what you get for the money. And just as importantly, look what you don't get. You don't get anything stodgy, you don't get anything boring, you don't get anything that's useless. You can drive it every day as a car, and then take it off-road and just beat the crap out of anything that's out there. Don't forget to go to tflcar.com for news, views, and reviews. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan Adlin saying adios. Away I go. Okay folks, right now we're what is called access mode. That means that we're low enough in order to get in and out of the vehicle very comfortably. We're going to go up to regular mode, which is 7.9 inches. So away we go. Should be doing it right now. And I'm pushing the button. There we go. This is normal height. Now, maximum height for off-roading is 10.4 inches. So let's hit that now. Should be going up right about now. Now, if you're wondering if I can slam this thing and jump up and down, because I am a vato and that's what I like to do, no, you can't really do that with this. There we go, 10.4 inches.